Alright, when it comes to what cloth to put in your baby's diaper cover, these are a few options. This is like really the most inexpensive route you could take. These are newborn sizes. This is diaper service quality, newborn size Prefolds. You'll see it online if you buy them used, like DSQ. And then these are Green Mountain diapers. They're called clothies. They have different colors on the edge. This is the newborn size. So basically, this one is fairly long. You can just like fold it over, and then, you know, this is how you fan it out. Put it up here, close it on the baby's bottom, like so. Then these orange edge ones, though, are really nice because of the fact that you don't really need to fold the top of them, because chances are good your baby is already, you know, that long. So fasten like this. These are really nice also for when you have a really big baby, like, you know, your toddler's still in diapers, and you can just tri-fold it and stick it in their diaper as a doubler. So it's nice and thick. Cotton. These ones are bleached. Those ones are bleached. I haven't put these out in the sun to get rid of any stains, but they wash up really well. They do take a little bit longer to wash up than a flat, but as far as diapers go, this is really on the low end as far as cost, wash and dry time. It's really easy. These ones are the orange edge, so you can see in comparison, the yellow edge. You can see that they're a little bit longer, they're a little bit wider. And so some people will skip this level diaper and they'll just move on to the next size. Honestly, if you want it for simplicity, just get them. Especially if you're going to have more than one child in diapers. It's really nice not having to fold the edge behind or whatever. That way it's not like all poochy on the back of the baby. Because if you're like folding it behind and then doing all this and they're laying on their back, it's just extra kind of bunched up there. So it's not a huge deal, but it is nice to have this size. We have about 3 dozen of these newborn size, 3 dozen of these yellow size, because it depends on the frequency of how often you have to change them. And then we have less of the older sizes. They're up in the attic right now, but I've actually found that these size large ones, the brown edge, they're really great for if you co-sleep or if you just nurse side-lying at all, like especially when you have a newborn baby, you're like exhausted. If you put this down below, you know, lay your head here, put the baby like here, just lay next to them, like they're gonna drip a bunch of milk while they're eating, and this soaks it all up. So it's really, really nice if you don't want to be constantly changing your sheets just because the baby, you know, gets a bunch of milk all over. So that's really easy, and honestly, I think these are kind of like a hidden treasure because a lot of people don't like them since toddlers don't necessarily use diapers that long or that many. But even if you have a newborn, I would at least buy like 4 or 5, and you'll see how handy that can come in. You'll see how they can come in handy later. All right, these are flats. Basically, I've read online somebody's blog. They like to use receiving blankets. This is a receiving blanket. It's usually around 32 inches for a receiving blanket. All you need to do, there's a little stain, the sun would get that out, is fold them together, you know, for the length of your baby, and then fold it in for the width. I usually make them about square. So you've got like a square here, and then you can fold them into 3 like you did with the Prefolds. Bring it up here, pin them together. Snappies or Boingos might work with this, but you really have to like try to get the fabric really well. Otherwise the little teeth on it doesn't quite work as well as a Prefold. But these are great, honestly. If you're on a really low budget, just go to some garage sales and get old receiving blankets. It's going to be super cheap and one size fits all depending on the age of the baby. You're not going to have to worry about that. You can do any fold that you want. You can do a super big fold, you know, for an older baby. This is the origami fold. You just do a little origami action, fold this over in the middle, makes it thicker. You got this little nice origami triangle. And put that in a little bit, and then voila, you have a diaper. You can like roll this up a little bit, you know, make it fit around the baby's legs a little bit better. Depending on your cover, obviously it's gonna like keep that in there, so you just make sure you've got nice little gussets or a tight-fitting snug diaper cover and you're good. This I actually made out of a piece of fabric that I got at a yard sale, and I just washed it a couple times and cut it and did that same overedge stitch as with the cloth wipes. And I measured a receiving blanket. It's like 32-inch square. So honestly, like, it doesn't matter. It's just a piece of cloth. It's flannel. It's soft cotton. You can put it on your baby's bum and it totally works as a diaper. Voila. But if you want to go the purchase route, I recommend Bird's Eye weave. These are really, really soft. This weave is the Bird's Eye weave, so you can see that in the camera. It's a little bit stretchy, and this works really, really well for the little teeth on a Snappy or on a Boingo. So all you're going to do again is, you know, fold the edges in for the width and the height, yada yada. You saw this before. It's really super easy. Honestly, if your baby is like super squirmy, give them a toy that'll occupy them for like the 2 seconds that it takes to do this. You can fold it together, fan out the edges, the little wings, put it up here. See, that didn't take long at all. And then put it on like that. And the nice thing about this, that's actually called the Rosy Posy fold. And you can put easily a nice little doubler there in the middle, or you can just layer 2 of these flats, and you've got a nice thick, you know, something that can soak up quite a bit. So that's really easy. You might ask, well, why didn't you just fold it into a square? That's called a pad fold, which you can do. I'm going to show you the disadvantage to that. Basically, if you fold it in a square, you've got that, and that might work for when they're like preemie. But other than that, I mean, it's not going to work very long. Basically, in the end, you want whatever you want it to end up basically like that. So honestly, even if you had a preemie baby or whatever, a really tiny baby, you can make a flat work. So no matter what size they are, this is going to work. So if you're looking for something really inexpensive, you might want to choose flats. We decided to use flats when we were traveling on an airplane across the country. So we got a whole ton of these. I would recommend, if you're going to go the flats route, you honestly only need like 36 for your whole diapering career. But if you use them as burp cloths or, you know, things like that, then just get some extra. They're not really very expensive, and you can use them on multiple children. These work way better than those little burp cloths that you find in the store. I just recommend skip those fancy little cute flannel burp cloths and get these. Even if you don't cloth diaper, you should get them. These soak up spit so much better, especially if you have a baby that throws up a lot, or they have, you know, just acid reflux or whatever. These are the way to go. And then these last ones I made from that same upcycled old flannel bed sheets. I measured them 32 inches square, and then I just sewed the edge just like the other stuff. And here's the advantage of this: they're so soft. It's like really, really soft. So say your baby has a rash or something, and you love your, you know, you love your Prefolds, but you really want something nice and squishy on their tushy, then just use this and it'll help them heal up. Won't be rubbing on them and, you know, potentially hurting them any extra.